Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sari and today we are on day 11 of the Simplify Your Life Challenge for 2022. This series is based on an ebook by YouTuber Michelle. I will link her channel and the ebook down below. And if you want to follow along from the beginning, you can do so by the playlist that I will link on the screen. So with that, let us get into day 11. Decluttering our decor. I skipped around again, so I skipped forward to go to linens to finish off my nice closet, and now I'm going up back to decor, which, to be honest, I was going to leave until closer to the end of the physical decluttering because I wanted to roll it into part of finding a space for everything. I wanted to do all of the decluttering of all of the things first and then start working on the what does the physical space look like when it's done. But I realized that, one, most of my decor that I'm actually using is already out and up here, and what isn't is in a stack in the basement that has been down there since I moved into this house in 2017. So probably I can just get rid of that because it's been down there forever. The added bonus of dealing with the bits of random decor that are scattered around the house is that it might fix some of my problems with feeling like I'm only half cleaning or part cleaning. And like, even though I have less stuff, the space still isn't organized or clear because there's stuff on the surfaces, or this is sitting over here, or whatever. I don't think it's going to solve my problems with furniture, because even though furniture is included in decor, right, as part of what we're doing today, there will still be some things I know we don't need, and those I have already largely gotten rid of, to be fair, as we were going. But there are also still empty bookshelves that I don't know if I need them or not, so they're staying for now. And I'm not going to buy all new furniture because, one, that is expensive, and two, I might be moving. So I don't really want to move furniture. I'd rather see the space that I'm moving into, and then get the furniture there if I don't bring it with me. Does that make sense? Hopefully. If I decide that I want my whole entire space to look different, like a completely different aesthetic, that's also a problem. I can't just buy entirely new furnishings right now. I can't just say, hey, I decided I don't like this decor and I want it to look like this and I want to change all of the color schemes. So sorry to all of my rugs and furnishings and tables and whatever. You're all gone and I'm going to buy an entirely new house full of furnishings and rugs and all of that. No. For all the reasons I just stated, and also, one, that's a big project, and two, God, that's expensive. We need to do what we can with the space we have. Bottom line, I'm going to make notes of ways I would like to change this, things I would like to replace, if we can replace them. I've been scouting for, like, I don't like this TV stand thing. Is there one I like better? What is it? Let me do some research and make a list in my wishlist app that's like, here's a bunch of potential options for replacements for this piece of furniture I don't like, or rug I don't like. I'm very attached to my rugs, actually. And then as we have the option to buy new things, or when we move, or whatever, then I've already done that research and I can move forward when I have the means or ability, or it's the right time to make that purchase. I can absolutely get rid of like random knickknacks and stuff and like old wall art that I don't use and all that stuff in the basement. When I'm talking about decor, I'm not just talking wall art, but like decorative stuff you have sitting on the shelves. Candles and like fake plants or real plants. Little knick-knacky decorative things. Decorative boxes, things that hold stuff, lamps, string lights and posters, storage baskets, pillows, the decorative throw pillows and stuff, decorative throw blankets if you didn't already do those in the linens declutter. Also wall art and hangings and furniture, mirrors, rugs, anything that makes your space your space. Not the items they're holding, but the things holding the items. Does that make sense? And then also the stuff you just set on the shelf to make it look nice or brighten things up or do whatever you're doing. I mean, all of that. So if you think it's decor, basically. If it's just there so you can look at it or so that it can hold your things, then it's decor. So let's create some guiding questions. Does this make me happy? This is the Marie Kondo spark joy question, right? Like, do I enjoy looking at this thing? Do I enjoy having this in my space? Do I look at this and go, oh yeah, that thing's cool? Or, oh yeah, I love that. Or that's pretty. Whatever. Does it make me happy to have it and see it and have it displayed? Then cool. Keep that thing. If not, you probably shouldn't have stuff decorating your space that you just think is ugly and you don't want to look at. Or like, I hate that thing. It's not even functional. Furniture accepted in some cases because I have some furniture that I hate, but it's what I got. This is where the whole I can't just replace all of my furniture because I don't like it comes in. So in some cases, no, the TV stand does not make me happy, but I'm stuck with it for now. Does this fit my current aesthetic? Sort of goes with the other question, but the main problem here is that this requires one to know what their current aesthetic is, which I'm not sure that I do. I'm not actually even sure how to figure it out. I have very diverse tastes. I like a lot of things in very disparate styles. I've never been able to put a name on my style, whether it's fashion or art or decor or whatever. Sometimes I like random children's plastic toys, and sometimes I'm like, no, this must be sleek and modern. Plus, I don't know. I think it's really easy these days to get swept up in like that influencer chic, which is just, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The minimalism people are all about it. Like, oh, my space needs to be white and stark and either chrome and white or black and white and like one abstract art piece on the wall and the fuzzy rug that's maybe white or maybe the only color in the room and the floors are this blonde wood and the only wood you can have is pale blonde. You know what I'm talking about. You know it. It's easy to get swept up in that and think, oh, I want my space to look like that because that is what all the cool kids are telling you your space should look like. So is that what I actually want it to look like? I don't know. Maybe. It is pretty nice looking, but like, do I just like it because I'm just bombarded by it at all points of like, this is what rooms should look like? I haven't figured that out yet. So I have to figure out my current aesthetic. But if you're clearly like, no, I hate this thing and I don't want my house to look like this, then get rid of that. Again, furniture, your mileage may vary. Does this fit in / go with this room? If something's an awkward size for the space or it's mismatched with everything else in the room, it probably doesn't belong there. So if you have the ability to replace that thing with something that actually looks nice in the space and doesn't just look like a rectangular thing crammed into a corner that it doesn't fit in because that's what you had and that's where it had to go. Look, my house can only be set up one way. It's an old house and it was designed before electronics were a thing. So there's only one way you can put stuff in my house. And if the furniture we have doesn't fit there perfectly, well, that's what it is. So this is some place where you can say, is there a way I can rearrange this? Is there a piece I can take out of here and then maybe move something different that fits better over there? I've definitely done this. I got rid of both a shelf and an end table and moved a console table that had been crammed into the corner because that was the only place it really fit anywhere into where my end table was. You can actually see it back there. It's the turquoisey blue thing. It looks much nicer there, and the front part where it used to be looks way less crowded because there is not a bookshelf and then that table and then the TV stand and then another shelf because I got rid of the shelf and the table. That was an improvement. It opened up the space a lot even without me really changing anything. Think if there are little things like that you can do and repurpose and rearrange. That was really helpful for me. The other thing you can do is if something is in a room and doesn't really go with the rest of the room in terms of color scheme or decoration or whatever, is paint it or stain it, refinish the wood. You're never going to make dark wood into blonde wood. So, there's that. But you can paint things colors. I personally hate painted wood unless it is crappy plywood, pegboard, flat pack furniture. Go ahead and paint that. That's not even quality wood. It's just pressed in pieces. I would never dream of painting like this, which is part of my house and is beautiful dark wood and is gorgeous. And if I painted it, it would destroy it forever. So, even though I this house is very dark and imposing, I'm still not going to paint that wood. Same thing with that coffee table. You can see that is an antique coffee table. The wood is gorgeous. It's very dark in the space and I would like to replace it with something else. I've had that table forever and would like it to be a different color or maybe lighter or lighten up the space, but I'm not going to ruin that by painting it. If I wanted to change it, I would get a different table, which is what I will do eventually. Does this reflect my personality? This is a tough question because you want your space to reflect who you are. That said, unpopular opinions with sorry time. I think it's also okay for you to say that you want your space to represent the person that you want to be or the person you want people to think that you are. Because there are a lot of interests that I have that I would display some stuff, but people don't need to see all my weird kids' toys. And I'm not saying that having kids stuff or childish things or cartoon stuff or whatever, it makes you not an adult, mature person, but it might give the impression to people that you're not. And so I think it's okay, especially in the most public areas of your house, to restrict that space to what you want people to think about who you are. I'm not encouraging everyone to hide away their passions. I'm definitely not. I think you should display that stuff. I have a large collection of plastic and metallic space shuttle toys because I really like the Space Shuttle Discovery. I just got a Lego set to build one that Jonas got me, and I instantly was like, you can't have that. You have to get rid of all of these. People are going to think you're ridiculous. And then I was like, those make me happy. I don't care. And there are places that I can put those that they're going to be art pieces. That's cool. Whatever. That's a part of who I am. I have a lot of plush toys in my bedroom because I like them. They make me happy. We put them nicely up on a little shelf that they live in baskets, and that's where they're displayed, and they're cool up there. There are ways you can still display the things you have a passion for. And if you don't care, cool. Awesome. Just put your stuff where you want to put your stuff. Put out what makes you happy. But I think it is okay also to set up your space to please others that you invite into it. Or to give a certain impression of yourself that is who you want people to see you as. Whoever that person is, however you interpret that. And it can be aspirational. It can be who you want to see yourself as. So I want to have a clean, organized, well-lit space with adult furniture. Jonas and I used to joke that someday we would have a real house with real Target furniture, which is what we have right now. So apparently we've made it in life. I have the kind you didn't have to put together yourself. It just came from the store like that. That's what we mean by real Target furniture. I think it's okay to decide you're not going to display your toy collection in the living room because you want to feel like you are moving forward emotionally from those times, and you can still remember those times and you can still have them and you can still whatever. You can do whatever you want with your space. But remember that your space, whether you want it to or not, gives the people that come into it an impression of you, whatever that is. So you get to decide. Do I use this? Self-explanatory, right? And if no, why not? Maybe you just don't because it doesn't fit in the space. That's one thing. Can you use it for something else, right? Before you just get rid of things like, oh, maybe I can move this over here. I have a large-ish shelving unit that used to be what I used as a quote-unquote nightstand in the bedroom. And I got a new nightstand that's much smaller and does not allow me to clutter it up with junk like the old one. You can see that in the papers video. But I didn't get rid of that shelf because I thought, oh, I bet I can repurpose this once I finish this whole clear out. So it's hanging out waiting to see if I need it. This is where you're like, is there something else that I can use it for that would make me actually use it? Or if there's whatever flaw that makes you not use it, can you fix that? Can you change it so that it makes it feel usable to you? If not, maybe let that thing go. I mean, if you just have a piece of furniture that you're like, oh, literally don't need this, cannot think of anything else I would ever need it for, and I hate it because X, and that's a non-solvable problem, there are people who could use your furniture. So look to charity shops, look to organizations like Bridging. I will link them down below. Give that away to people who need furniture. Would I buy this right now? If you were in a store and you were mindfully purchasing decor, I say mindfully because I don't know about you, but I think most people who go to Target have at some point walked past the Target random decorations section and been like, I don't know what that is, but I want it. It seems like a really good idea. And then you get it home and you're like, what am I going to do with this? Please tell me we've all done it. I do it all the time. Jonas is like the worst offender. So would you buy it if you were thinking about purchasing something, not just grabbing stuff at Target because it's amusing to you? It's so easy to do in that store. If not, maybe you can get rid of it and buy something you like better. Maybe you can just get rid of it because you're like, why did I buy this at Target? Decide that if you wouldn't rebuy it and it's not a major furniture item or something that's going to disrupt your life if you don't have it. I bet you can probably get rid of that. All right. So those are my questions. And the next thing we do is take all of it out and we consider it against our questions. And then we put what we are keeping away. And this is the exciting part because you get to do it in a way that makes you happy. You get to redecorate and rearrange your space. You can put things in totally different spots. You don't have to put them back where they were. You can decide that that plant looks better over there by that window and that this lamp that was in this room is totally not functional in this room and it should actually go in this room. And you can move all of that stuff around. And I love rearranging my house. It's very limited, as I mentioned. There's really only one way it can be set up, but that doesn't mean I can't change the whole rugs around and I want this rug in this room and this rug in this room, like this lamp here. Change what art is on which wall. Get creative. This is your chance to make your space look the way you want your space to look to the extent that you're able. Donate, sell, discard, recycle the rest. Take smaller things to the charity shops, like the knickknacks and the lamps and all of that stuff. That you can just take that over there right away. Furniture, you can also take to the charity shop if you have a means of transporting it. Same thing with organizations like Bridging. I mention them a lot in these videos. I'll put another link down below. They basically help people who need homes and give them homes and give them stuff to put in those homes. If you're selling it online, get it listed as soon as possible. Do it today if you can, or this week. If not, set yourself a deadline to get it listed by and stick with that deadline. Don't just let this stuff sit around your house. Say, within the month, this is either going to be listed for sale or it is just going to the charity shop. And if you can't sell it, you can't recycle it, you can't donate it, you can't repurpose it, then it has to go in the trash. And then after that, celebrate you. This is actually a cool day. Like, you have a completely newly decorated, newly rearranged space that should make you really happy as much as possible. And it should feel better, and you should get to spend the rest of your time celebrating yourself by sitting down and enjoying it. Like, I changed everything around and my room feels like a whole new vibe, and I'm gonna hang out in here and just enjoy the vibe. I hope that happens for you. It's slow for me, but we'll see. I will put some footage in of me actually doing that bit, and then I will see you back at the end for the wrap up.
All right.
where to start. Here's some furniture. This bookshelf is empty. It's still here. I don't know what it's doing. This has all of my actual books that I need to read / deal with in them. This is my stuff I need to deal with, and it looks horrible, but it doesn't fit on the shelves because it's too tall unless you lay it flat. And I know people can lay stuff flat and get it to look cute, but I'm not one of those people. This is my work desk. The one thing I did do already is replace, I seriously had my laptop just like on some books. That was how I raised it to the height that I need it. I bought this actual little stand. So it's nice because this technically should go under here when I'm not using it. My mouse should go up there, and this should be in the drawer. These should be there, and there shouldn't be random lipstick and all of that everywhere. I had a week, so I just didn't clean my desk at the end of it. Here's this TV stand I keep talking about that I hate, but I'm stuck with. This is the corner. If you watched the electronics video, ignore my cords mess. I can't solve that problem right now. That there was a shelving unit here, and that is gone. We took that to bridging. This is my Lego discovery that I was talking about. If you also remember the electronics video, there used to be a console table that was turquoise, that was here. That is now here, which is next to my sofa. In here, this room is a whole mess that I haven't dealt with yet. This is its own category of mess. Crafting things, it's a whole situation. Anyway, in my dreams, my biggest dreams, I no longer own that brown shelf, and I no longer own that shelf or that shelf. This is a console table that I do my sewing on. It's not a sewing table, I just use it for that. I really like this. It's kind of the twin to the one that's out there. They're slightly different colors. And then we have these plastic shelving units. I talked about that one with all the art stuff in it. And then this one has more crafting things in it. So does that storage ottoman. Jonas built me these yarn shelves. They're really nice. I like them. I'm gonna keep this. Even if it doesn't have yarn in it, I'm gonna keep it. We need a whole intervention in here. This is all the stuff I need to sell still. This room is gonna be its own special place that we declutter. This looks a lot different from the last time you saw it. So this is our new bed. You can't really tell it's a new bed except you get around here and you see the base, and if you knew what the other base looked. But that big, huge shelf that was here has been replaced by that tiny IKEA nightstand. That is still Jonas's nightstand thing, which is still a whole mess. And then we have these shelves up here where we keep the plushies. I have this, which is my shoe cabinet. I don't mind it as itself. I just wish it wasn't there, but there's nowhere else for me to put it right now. So it's there. It's fine. Like, I don't mind the cabinet. It's just, I don't like it in the space, but there's no solution to that. This is my dresser that I want to get rid of, but there's still stuff in this drawer and this drawer and then here that I need to figure out. And I think I can buy a thing from IKEA that will take care of it. But again, I don't really want to buy furniture right now until we figure out what our moving situation is. Okay, so it's not much, but I did some damage in this corner and cleared off this shelf. And I took all of this random assorted mailing things downstairs with the other boxes that we keep for the sole purpose of mailing things. And apparently good karma, because I just sold 3 things out of my Poshmark Mercari box. This is still staying the way it is, but at least I did that. That looks nice, right? It looks better. There's the console table's a situation, which is part of that situation. That is still a whole thing. But anyway, we did some stuff in here. That's good. So now I can get rid of a shelf, which is something. It's better than nothing. We'll keep doing it incrementally, but one shelf is better than no shelves. Right? Right. These are the owl paintings Jonas and I made. There's a whole video on this that I can link. Back when we were trying to go through the Twin Cities magazine and be like, what random weird events are there? And there was like painting owls at a brewery. So we did it. We made these owl paintings. They're supposed to go up there We haven't put them up yet. I'm gonna make that a project, like, just let's put those up, even though we're probably just gonna end up taking them back down in a hot second. I have to reframe this. I like moved it and then the painting fell out. My boss did this. He made us all watercolors of like places that we've been that are significant to us. So I just need to like readjust this and hang it back up. It was over here, which used to be above my desk before I moved my desk, but now like we do occasionally, when I don't have boxes in front of it, which is actually not that often, use this door, and I didn't like it on the door because it was kind of like flopping around and I was worried it was gonna fall, so I took it down. Here we are in my horror show of a basement. I bought this randomly. There's a poster store on like the main pedestrian mall through the campus I lived on when I was in undergrad, and I just was like, I want to be fancy and have art on my wall. So I bought this, and it's a nice picture, but I'm like not attached to it. It used to be in my bathroom because it was calming, but we never put it back up after we moved. Same thing with this. This came from the same place, and it's nice. I like it, but like I don't have any particular attachment other than I just bought some art because I thought I should buy some art. This is memorabilia stuff that we really need to get rid of. I don't need it anymore. This is a mirror thingy my dad made me, and I broke it when we moved, and I got it I like paid a lot of money to get it reframed. And I still haven't ever put it up because it needs wall anchors because it's really heavy, and I'm attached to it because it's supposedly like a bunch of stuff about my life. Like he put a bunch of memorabilia and like things, scattered things about to represent my interests and my life. And he made it for me out of stained glass, and it was really nice. It was like one of the nicer things my father's ever done for me. So I keep it around sentimentally because I'm like, sometimes he does care. Do I get rid of it? I took all the stuff off of it that he put in there, that he like stuck on it. And so I'm like, without that, it's just pink glass with a mirror, and I don't really need that. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna get rid of it eventually, but I gotta do some work on it first. So when we move, that's gonna be one of my projects, to just like get rid of that, come to terms, etc. Whatever. Anyway, more over here. Here's another pile of art. I had this in my grad school apartment. I was really attached to this, and I kind of love the idea of it, and I might keep it around when we move, but I also might not. I'm not sure. This is Jonas's. I don't even know where or when they had that. This was a gift from a friend of ours who went to school with us. We've never put it up because the apartment we lived in at the time was like, we couldn't put it on the wall because of the way the walls were, and we just never hung it up. These are like random frames that we don't need. I definitely don't need this map of Florida I bought on my trip to St. Augustine. This picture of the St. Augustine lighthouse is cool, but like I don't think I need it. Oh, we used to go to this Japan night auction and buy random stuff, and so that was one of those. It was a fundraiser thing we used to go to. This is the county that my family's from in Ireland. Obviously I need to clean this, it's filthy. So that's always been kind of important to me. I think we're gonna keep that. This is some random art Jonas and I bought. Like, if we literally just bought the frame and then just left the stock art in it. Because we're ridiculous and we just like needed to have some art on the wall. This is a picture from a train in Japan. This is another thing we bought at the Japan night auction. I don't think I need that. These are other things we just bought, these random arts to have on the wall. This is the train tracks, like the train depot that used to be down the street from one of my apartments. A guy I knew took this picture, and I was amused by it because it was literally like a block away from my apartment, but I don't think I need it. I paid a lot of money for this. That's signed by the whole cast of the Beck anime. If anybody wants that, let me know. I'll send it to you. Connemara, Ireland. This is a nice picture. I don't even remember where I got this. I probably bought it at one of the Irish festivals. I'm thinking I'll probably keep that around. I'm not attached to Connemara particularly. Like, County Mayo's our county, but it's nice. This is by the same person who took the train depot picture. I could literally see this off of my balcony. Like, he took this picture off of my apartment balcony. This is like literally was the view out of my window. And I put this picture up
on the wall directly next to the balcony window, so you could see the picture that was taken 2 feet from here, and it amused me. But I don't know if I need it anymore. Same person. Trees with bows. It was cute. We liked the trees with bows, but like, I don't need this. Within my job, I moved from one chapter to another chapter. This was given to me as a thanks for your work and we'll miss you gift. This is one of my favorite places actually in the world, but like this is my favorite of their preserves that Wisconsin chapter manages, and I'm gonna keep this forever. One of my friends cross-stitched this for me for our wedding, and it's beautiful. We had it up at our original apartment and we've never put it up here. I think I'm just gonna get rid of this too. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of like this pile of stuff, those other posters that are in the other room. I'll talk to Jonas about this because this is a both of us gift. And again, yeah, if anybody wants a Beck poster that's signed by the whole cast of Beck, let me know, because I paid like close to $500 for that, but I don't actually care anymore, so I will give it to you. I don't even know what these used to be for, but there's a bunch more plastic shelves that I think are empty. There's maybe something in here. I'm like afraid to find out. I don't even know what this is. We talked to Bridging and they said they needed furniture, so we're gonna gather up all the furnishings and take them places. So this is one thing that can leave. These are what used to be in my closet before I got the fabric shelving thing that's currently in my closet. They've been down here for a year now and they can leave. There's a bunch of sports stuff that we need to sort out, but that's not relevant right now. This shelf, this ottoman, maybe this basket, I don't know, are also leaving. So that's some pieces of furniture that don't need to be with us anymore. It's pretty exciting. That's all going to Bridging today. So that's that. I mean, I didn't really get rid of anything, but like I said in the intro, we've been doing it slowly throughout the declutter. I like the way my house is decorated, generally speaking. It's my furniture that I'm like, I don't want this furniture, but we're not dealing with that. And then like the stuff that's in the basement, I'll get rid of sometime soon. We'll just take it to the charity shop or something, or Bridging. I don't know if Bridging will take it if it's like decorations. I'm not sure what they do with that stuff. So that's what I got for you. I'm gonna come back around, do a little outro. See you all soon.
Hey everyone, welcome back. How was that for you? How did you do? Do you feel newly energized with your newly decluttered and redecorated and rearranged space? I hope so. Mine is a slow process. I mostly just got rid of a bunch of art that had been downstairs that I hadn't even had up here in the first place. We've kind of actually been doing some of this as we went along anyway. So like when I cleared out the electronics, I also like cleaned off a lot of what was on the TV stand because we got a new soundbar thing. So we took everything off of there and just sorted through it. Same thing with the shelf that I got rid of in the bedroom that I replaced with a nightstand. I had done a lot of like clearing the decorations off of it anyway. There's some stuff that I literally just took off of there and then stashed in the spare room that I had to go through. We've been getting rid of furniture as we went too. So if you've watched the other videos, you know, I got rid of that one cabinet in the kitchen that I hated that was broken. I got rid of the shelving unit that was in the living room that had all of the CDs and things on it. I mentioned I got rid of an end table that used to be over there, which you can also see in the papers video when I went through it, and I took everything out of the drawer and I moved those into one of the drawers in this built-in shelving unit that came with the house. That let me move the blue console shelf over here. I still have all these empty bookshelves that I didn't do anything with because I'm still waiting to see how it all shakes out in the end. Probably I'll sell one of them, but I might keep those two nicer ones with the doors and then get rid of the other one that are smaller and don't have the doors on them. I don't know yet. I have to decide. I still don't know how much stuff I'm going to end up with in the end in terms of books and media and things that need to be stored on shelves. So I haven't done anything with those shelves yet. I should have dealt with them as part of this today, but I did not. But I did get rid of some other shelves that honestly thought we had gotten rid of a while ago that were from my closet that are still downstairs. I was like, we do not need these. There's furniture I would like to replace. Like, I love that coffee table, but it's broken. It's being broken. It's broken when I got it. It looks good in the space, but I would like a different one, but I'm not going to replace that right now. That table's been with me for longer than I can remember. 15 years at least. And the TV stand that I've always hated since we got it, but it was free because Jonas's dad put it together and then it didn't work for them and then gave it to us. And I wasn't going to complain, and I can't find one that's tall enough anyway. I'm not going to deal with those until we move. Full disclosure, that may be happening sooner than originally planned. I'll let you know what happens with that once I know what's happening with that. We'll do a whole video series on ramping up your declutter before you move, if that becomes relevant. Bottom line, like, there's just still not a lot you can do with this space, so it is what it is. I love my rugs, and I love my actual furniture, like this chair, the sofa that's over there. I bought very intentionally. They go together. I did get a new bed that was not planned as part of my decor situation, but I did get a new bed and I like it a lot. I had already gotten a new nightstand. I like it a lot in there. So we've just been doing this as we went along. So it's like slowly transforming the space instead of like one big space transformation all at once. But how are you doing? Did you get rid of a lot? Do you feel like you've really changed your space? Do you have a plan for like how you want your space to look? Do you understand what you want aesthetically out of your space? I just really don't. I think I'm conflicted because of the whole reflect your personality versus like reflect who you want people to think you are, because I don't always want people to think that I am the person that I am. That's just me. I'm a little bit of a narcissist. Appearances are what they are, and I maybe have some insecurities still of like wanting people to see me differently than I see me. And I think that's okay. It makes it really hard to like aesthetically plan a space that makes me happy. So I'm still trying to come around on that. How do I do that? Do you have suggestions, thoughts? Tell me to just let go of perceptions and just be me and don't apologize. It's not like anybody comes in my house anyway. You have to have friends for that. Just kidding. I have friends. They watch this video. Hello, friends. So yeah, how did you do? Let me know. Leave me comments. How's it going? Do you love your new space? Do you not? Are you like, I tried, but I still hate it because I have all this old mismatched random furniture and I can't buy new furniture, and I don't like the color my walls are painted, but I can't do anything about it. All of the things. I mean, I'm in the same situation, at least with the walls and the way my house needs to be set up and the fact that there's no light in here ever, no matter what you do. So it's always going to look dark and not open or inviting. But we do what we can do. Thumbs up if you are enjoying this. Leave me some comments and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to know about the next videos. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye, friends.